I'm Blanche, and while I'm well aware that people in the West are now fully accustomed to incorporating hummus into their daily lives as a dip or in a sandwich, did you know that we Arabs love making hummus into different dishes that we can consume as a main meal? I'm going to show you how to make one of the most popular one of these specialties called Fattet Hummus, right here on Feast in the Middle East. Okay, so the dish of the day is Fattet Hummus. What does that mean, Fattet? Fattet means bits of something. Fatteh, which means bits of pita bread. So this was a great way to use day-old pita bread that people didn't want to throw away. It's a very resourceful dish. Some would even consider it a peasant dish, but there's nothing peasant-like about the flavor. Here I have a couple of slices of pita bread, and what I'm going to do is cut them into sort of croutons, so basically in squares. And this is going to be the basis of the Fattet hummus. Now, this dish is almost like a 5-layer dip, Mexican 5-layer dip. This is like a Middle Eastern style 5-layer dip. But instead of chips, we're going to have these sort of pita croutons. I'm just going to cut them like this. We're going to season them, add some olive oil to them, and just bake them in the oven till they're nice and crispy. Now, what some people like to do is straight up fry the bread. Of course, that's going to taste fabulous and it's going to be crunchy, but I don't feel the need to fry it. I think that the dish doesn't suffer in flavor from baking the bread at 400 degrees. So preheat your oven at 400 degrees, folks. What I'm going to do is put the bread here, right? And I'm going to use my favorite olive oil. So what I'm going to do is just basically drizzle the oil, maybe about 2 tablespoons worth. Toss it together. Make sure it's all well coated. But before these go into the oven, I never waste an opportunity to season what I have. Just add some salt, evenly all throughout, and pepper. Put these in the oven at 400 degrees for I'd say about 12 minutes. You want them to be browned, right? Browned and crispy. So keep an eye on them, whatever temperature. Everybody's oven is different. Some ovens are more powerful than others. So basically when they're brown, they're ready to go. So let's put these in the oven. We're going to put it on the top rack so they get nice and browned. I'm just going to put 12 minutes. Fun fact, did you know that the word hummus literally means chickpea in Arabic? And we're going to have hummus 2 ways in this dish, right? We're going to have them whole and we're going to have them pureed as regular hummus dip because it's a varying texture. It's different. It's very exciting for the palate. So what I have here is a cup of garbanzo beans. Now, if you want to use dried, please soak them overnight with about a teaspoon of baking powder. And then you can boil them for 30 minutes before using. This helps the digestion process of the garbanzo beans, right? But if you have them canned like what I'm using, it's easy. Just take them out of the can, and we're going to put them in this skillet over here. And what I'm going to do is add some water so that they're covered. Okay, this is going to soften the garbanzo beans. 2 things. It's going to soften them more, and I'm going to infuse more flavor. So always, when you have beans, cumin is key for digestion, right? So I'm going to add about a teaspoon of ground cumin. We say cumin in Arabic. And we're going to add some garlic cloves. So I'd say about like 2-3 cloves of garlic. All right. Just to add some essence of garlic. What I'm going to do is basically bring this to a boil and simmer for about 30 minutes. If you want a little, I'm just going to add a little bit of extra salt. So while that's going, I'm going to talk about the other element of the Fattet hummus. Now, this is a vegetarian dish because we do add yogurt. I'm using, Greek yogurt. Now, if you are vegan and there's like a vegan yogurt you like, by all means, feel free to use that as a replacement because they do have some pretty decent yogurt, maybe some cashew yogurt or coconut yogurt that you could use, but I'm just using Greek yogurt because that's what we traditionally use. This is going to be another layer or component of the 5-layer dip. And what we're going to do is season it with I have here 1 clove of garlic that's finely minced. I already minced it, so you don't have to watch me. I'm just going to add some of that. I'm going to add about half a teaspoon of paprika, smoked paprika. We're going to add some salt and some pepper to this as well, just a little bit. And we're going to add a nice surprising flavor, mint. Now, mint is so important in Middle Eastern cuisine. You can use 2 kinds of mint. You could use dried mint or fresh mint. I actually have a crazy bush of mint growing in my backyard at all times. So what I'm going to do is finely mince this mint right here. The fastest way for me to do it is sort of roll it up and start it off with the julienne. And then I'm going to just chop it until it's pretty fine. But of course, yeah, use some dried mint. If it's winter, you don't have fresh mint, it's all good, because mint and yogurt do make a fine combination. Just like that. All right, and we're gonna just mix it up. Look at that, that's a beautiful layer to our Fatteh hummus right here. I have the garbanzo beans, you see they're simmering over here. Just gonna keep them there for at least 30 minutes. And I've got the pita chips. As soon as the pita chips are done, we're gonna incorporate everything together. Now, one more component to this is hummus. Now, I do have a hummus recipe on my channel. It's a hummus recipe so popular. In fact, it was my premiere video that aired on Virgin America Airlines before the airline folded. It was like my favorite airline. But I was thrilled because my hummus video was featured on that flight, on those flights, a Virgin America flight. So people would take pictures of me, my friends that would fly. They would take pictures of me making hummus on Virgin America and send it to me. They thought it was cool that I was literally on their flight, and I wish I was there with them, flying away. But hey, that was the next best thing. So we got some hummus, just like 1 recipe of hummus, or if you want to use store-bought, which I highly don't recommend, a container of hummus. Now, if you want to see another video of my mom and I testing out store-bought hummus, I will link it up in the card as well. Okay, so we've just got regular hummus here. You see that? They're golden brown. They should be extra crispy. We'll test it. You hear that? That's what you want. You want that crunchy. And they're so delicious. I didn't even have to deep fry. Just a little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper really goes a long way. We're gonna set this aside. Now, to assemble, I'm just gonna get all my ingredients together. What I'm going to do is drain the water from the chickpeas just by using like a colander here. There we go. Pull out the garlic cloves unless you like to eat garlic like it is. We don't want big fat garlic surprise in our Fatteh hummus, right? So I will take that out. And what we're gonna do is assemble the dish. So how we do this, now I'm reserving this liquid. This liquid is going to come in handy. There's a reason why I'm not throwing it all in the sink. We are going to add the pita chips here to the bottom. Okay, that's gonna be part of our layer. To that, we're going to add the garbanzo beans. Remove the garlic, folks. Now, if you have that person that's crazy about garlic in the family, that would be my father. He would eat this by the spoonful like people eat cereal, okay? My dad loves garlic. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is put the garbanzos here. This is a really fun dish to take to a potluck if you guys are watching the game. It makes a great brunch dish. It's great for breakfast. It's a great summertime dinner because it's kind of light. What I'm gonna do is pour some of the liquid here, just a little bit, because that's gonna flavor the pita chips too. The essence of the cumin and the garlic from the garbanzo beans is going to flavor the pita chips, right? So I'm not pouring a ton. I don't want them soggy, just like a little bit, like a couple of tablespoons, okay? So what we're gonna do is take the hummus. This plate is rather big. I could have used a smaller one, but I get excited. I'm like, oh, I just want to make it look like huge, like a big fat pizza. You know, treat food like your canvas. This is my hummus paint, guys. There we go. And then what we're gonna do is I also have some toasted pine nuts. Now I know that pine nuts are pretty expensive and hard to come by. I'm fortunate that I bought a big old bag before. Apparently there's a supply chain issue with pine nuts, but I bought a big old bag and I put it in my freezer, and that's what we're gonna be working towards. Now we've got the yogurt mix on top. Oops. We're putting globs, but we're gonna, you know, it's gonna be all good in the end. And then you always have to add a little bit of olive oil, you know, just a drizzle on top, like that. That olive oil goes a long way with everything else. And now I have my toasted pine nuts. I'd say, you know, about a quarter cup, third cup, like that. And you can also add some fresh parsley or fresh herbs on top. For the top, I just have a combination of like parsley and mint together because I like both flavors. I'm gonna sprinkle some of this mint and parsley on top. Here we go. That is beautiful. You eat with your eyes, that's what we say in my culture. This, you could tell, was made by somebody who had a bunch of cool stuff in their refrigerator and pantry and just put it all together and it worked harmoniously. I'm telling you guys, try it next time. Instead of the same old chips and dip or the same old 5-layer dip, try bringing this to your next party and see what happens. People are gonna go ballistic, okay? I'm just gonna get a bite with all of the different colors and textures all together. Oh my gosh. The olive oil, guys, make sure you get a good quality extra virgin olive oil. It makes all the difference in blending all of these flavors harmoniously together. Thank you so much for joining me here on Feast in the Middle East. Of course, this recipe also happens to be in my cookbook, which you can get on feastinthemiddleeast.com. Get it while supplies last. This is a hardback book, over 100 pages, full color. I went all out to get perfect binding so that'll open properly on your kitchen table. Beautiful colored photos, detailed explanations, the works. Because while, you know, watching the YouTube videos are helpful, there's nothing like having all of the information consolidated in one book so that you can refer to them for the latest ingredients and have everything precise, because that's what I liked when I was growing up, is getting precise directions, which a lot of Arab grandmothers never gave, by the way. It was really hard to apply that out of them. So until next time, eat well, be healthy, be happy, and I will see you soon.